as we go. And we've started our recording. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us tonight. We're so thrilled to have you. We have an absolutely wonderful presentation ahead in just a few minutes, but I'm going to introduce us first. My name is John McIntyre. I'm a co-owner of the Expedia Cruises Fish Creek office in Southwest Calgary. And we have a number of our offices represented here tonight from Central and Southern Alberta. And I'm just going to quickly name them off. We have our Red Deer office. Susan Walker is here with us. From Mountain View, 𝐦𝐚𝐣𝐞𝐬 Chestermere, we have Karen Wallace. From Dalhousie Station and Aspen Landing in Calgary, we have Chuck Magnus. From our Chinook office in Calgary, we have Dale Marie Anderson, and we have representation from Airdrie as well. And that office is owned by Tom Liu. And of course, we have a plethora of our marvelous consultants with us too. And we welcome them, we welcome our guests, and it's great that you're taking a little time tonight. We're expecting customers not only from kind of Central and Southern Alberta, but really all over Western Canada this evening. And we might even have a few people joining us from the United States. I think there were some registrations coming in from the US as well. I just want to take a minute here to just talk a little bit about our presentation housekeeping. If you have problems with audio or the video feed, the easiest way to try and remedy that is simply to log out from the meeting and then re-enter. And often that will solve whatever kind of technical problems we have. We are going to use our chat box for questions. So if you have a question during the presentation, just go to the chat box at the bottom of the screen and put your question in there, and we will be monitoring it. We will have a Q&A section after the presentation tonight. And if you want to adjust your view in terms of how you're seeing your screen, you can do that in the upper right-hand portion of your screen. So that's it for housekeeping. I promise no more of that because we're pretty much ready to get going here. I'll just say a couple words before I introduce our special guest about Expedia Cruises. And I'm sure many of you are aware that our company has been around for a fairly long time. We're approaching 35 years in the travel retail business. And of course, we're part of the enormous Expedia group worldwide, but our Expedia Cruises head office is still in Vancouver. Very proud of that. You know that if you've worked with us before, we have many superior trained and experienced travel consultants who are here to help you and find you the value that you're looking for in your travel, provide you with extraordinary services. And of course, that's really kind of what we've been doing in a large extra measure over the last couple of years. We're very proud of our sales force with our travel consultants. We are, of course, primarily a cruise vacation planning company, but that's not all we do. You know, we do in our tagline say air, land, and sea vacations. And frankly, I can't think of a more shining example of where we work and what a great partner we have in a non-cruise product here with Rocky Mountaineer tonight. Absolutely love this company, and I promise I will do my best not to completely get enveloped in the presentation and sort of try and keep myself as moderator. So that's a little bit about us. And I think we'll use that as a segue to introduce our special guest speaker. She is our business development director from Rocky Mountaineer. She is Lisa Otterman from Vancouver. So happy to have you joining us tonight, Lisa. Looking forward to your presentation immensely. She is a great industry partner with a lot of experience. And okay, I'm biased. She has one of the coolest vacation products to tell us about tonight. So with that, Lisa, welcome. Thank you for joining us, and we'll let you take it from here.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much, John. I am so happy to be here, and I don't think I could possibly have a nicer introduction. So thank you so much for those kind words. And, you know, Expedia Cruises, you are an amazing, amazing partner of ours. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining myself and Expedia Cruises this evening. I'm very excited to talk train travel and to take you on a virtual journey of the amazing scenery that we have, you know, right here in our own backyard in Western Canada and the Canadian Rockies, and also not too far away in the American Southwest. So Rocky Mountaineer train journeys offer guests a firsthand look at incredible mountain views, chromatic deserts, rushing rivers, and wildlife in the comfort of our spacious, one-of-a-kind glass dome coaches. Our trains travel during daylight hours only and at an average speed of 50 kilometers per hour, or what we like to call Kodak speed, so you can soak it all in and take plenty of amazing photos. These are the elements that create a memorable experience on board. So it's just as much about the journey as it is the destination. Our onboard hosts, or who I like to call super hosts, cater to our guests' every need, and they create a friendly, comfortable, and social atmosphere on board. They are entertainers, master storytellers, and genuinely love people and connecting with you, our guests, and providing exceptional service. Throughout the journey, our onboard hosts are telling stories of the history of the rail line, the communities we travel through, Indigenous peoples, the flora, the fauna, really connecting our guests to the regions and landscapes that we are traveling through. Our cuisine showcases regional flavors and locally sourced ingredients and is accompanied by a complimentary selection of local wines and beers, along with premium spirits, which are served throughout the journey, along with sweet and savory snacks. As our trains travel during daylight hours only, guests do not sleep on the train, but they enjoy a relaxing night's sleep at a hotel at the midpoint of their journey. Luggage handling to and from the train and the hotel, we take care of that for you. It's all very much a seamless experience. So we have 4 rail routes in North America. It is very exciting that I can now share that we are no longer a company that travels in Canada only. So last year, we launched our new route in the American Southwest at the Rockies to the Red Rocks that travels in the states of Colorado and Utah. But let me begin first with our Canadian routes. So we have 3 routes in Western Canada that connect Vancouver with the mountain towns of Jasper, Lake Louise, and Banff. Our journeys are taken one way, traveling either eastbound or westbound. So the dark diamonds on this map that you see are where you either begin or extend your journey. And then the white diamonds are where guests overnight in hotels. So I will discuss each of these 3 routes in more detail as we virtually travel along them. But before I do, I'll first provide just a high-level overview of our 2 levels of service. So we have gold leaf service and silver leaf service, and the difference between the 2 is really well depicted by this slide. It's the coaches themselves. So our gold leaf rail car is a bi-level coach, and our silver leaf rail coach is a single level, and this lends itself to some differences in the meal and beverage service. The important thing to remember is that the level of service in both gold leaf and silver leaf is the same, as are the inclusions, which are breakfast and lunch, alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages that are served throughout the day, as well as snacks, transfers to and from the train and hotel, luggage handling, and overnight accommodation at the midpoint of the journey. It truly is all-inclusive while on board the train. And of course, in both, you're going to enjoy the fabulous level of service and storytelling provided by our onboard hosts. So let's begin our train journey this evening on the 2-day first passage to the west. This route connects Vancouver to either Lake Louise or Banff with an overnight in Kamloops. You have the option of either beginning or ending your train journey in either Lake Louise or Banff. For simplicity, I'll be describing each of the routes traveling eastbound, but again, just keep in mind you have the option to start the journey in the Canadian Rockies and travel westbound to Vancouver. So we've chosen to travel in Gold Leaf service on the first passage to the west route. We will board our Gold Leaf rail car at approximately 7:30 a.m. And as your luggage does not travel with you, be sure to bring a day pack with you on the train for any necessities that you need during the day, such as medication, sunglasses, and perhaps an extra sweater or jacket, depending on the time of year, if you'll be spending time on the outdoor viewing platform. So let's get to know our Gold Leaf coach a little bit further. So then Gold Leaf features our bi-level rail cars with our all-glass dome windows in the seating area on the upper level where guests spend the majority of their time, and they enjoy their meals below in the lower level dining area. Exclusive to each Gold Leaf coach is an outdoor viewing platform. We start our breakfast service shortly after the train departs at 8 a.m., so please make your way down the stairs to the elegant dining room where an onboard host will attend to you. For those that may require mobility support, each Gold Leaf coach has an elevator, and all of our train coaches have a hydraulic lift for those that may need assistance boarding the coach. Select your choice of entree from our menu. There are 7 entrees to choose from for breakfast, and the menu does change from year to year, but just to give you a few examples of past entrees for breakfast, those have included spinach feta and egg souffle, sunrise skillet, buttermilk pancakes, just to name a few. And of course, complimentary beverages are served with your 2-course breakfast. As the seating capacity of our dining room is half that of the upper level, we divide our guests into 2 groups. So group number 1 will go to the dining room first, but as they are being served in the dining room, we are serving our guests in the upper seating area, pastry and beverages. And then on day 2 of the journey, we'll reverse the order of the group so that if you are in the second seating on day 1, you'll now be in the first meal seating on day 2. And as we leave the sights of the city behind, we travel through the green fields of the Fraser Valley and pass by many of the farms where we source produce that is served on board. Traveling further into the interior of British Columbia, we'll be following the Fraser River, winding through forests and crossing over bridges surrounded by the peaks of the Cascade and Coast Mountains. We'll enjoy the views of Hell's Gate. And as the day continues, the tracks lead us into arid desert-like canyons, and we enjoy fantastic stories of the region as the train travels along. As we approach Kamloops, we will hand you the keys to your hotel room. And we've arrived at the midpoint of our journey, Kamloops, a very welcoming riverside town. We are scheduled to arrive at approximately 6 p.m. Do say with time, scheduled to arrive, because we do, share the CP and CN rail lines with that freight cars. So sometimes there may be unforeseen delays. However, we have our operations team in Kamloops that works very closely with CP and CN. So if there are going to be any delays, they do make sure that they move their trains over the side so we can continue on. A motor coach will then take you from the train to your hotel in Kamloops, and you're already checked into your hotel room and your luggage has already been delivered to your room. So your luggage actually travels on a truck ahead of the train so that when you arrive at the midpoint hotel, your luggage is there waiting for you in your room. Enjoy your evening in Kamloops and take a stroll in one of the serene parks or enjoy one of the terrific gastro pubs and a good night's rest. Rise and shine, your motor coach is waiting for you at the hotel to transport you to the Gold Leaf train coach for another luxurious day of train travel. Simply leave your luggage in your hotel room. We will collect it and transport it ahead to your destination. Boarding time is at 6:30 a.m. And as we continue our journey to the Canadian Rockies, the desert-like landscapes continue. As we continue traveling east, the scenery changes and we see the greenery of the mountains. We pass over the last spike at 𝐦𝐞𝐞𝐤𝐢 that completed the rail line and connected British Columbia with Eastern Canada more than 130 years ago. And we are the only passenger train to travel along this historic Canadian Pacific rail line. Today's highlights also include the climb over Rogers Pass, the Kicking Horse Canyon, and traveling through the spiral tunnels, an incredible feat of railway engineering. And of course, we're going to enjoy stunning views of the snow-capped peaks of the Canadian Rockies. First Passage to the West is our original route, and not only is it our most popular, it is also our most historic route. Spend some time on the outdoor viewing platform and feel the wind rushing through your hair and hear the sounds of the train. Breathe in that fresh mountain air and take some amazing photos outdoors. The outdoor viewing platform holds up to 10 people. And let's head back inside upstairs to our seat. And isn't this a perfect setting to enjoy 180-degree panoramic views while you're sipping on a glass of 𝐦𝐞𝐤𝐢𝐞𝐬 wine or that perfect cup of tea? Enjoy the comfort of the reclining heated seats with lumbar support as well as a footrest. We've passed the town of Field, continuing our ascent, and we are literally going to pass through two mountains, Mount Ogden and Cathedral Mountain, as the train travels through the spiral tunnels, crossing over the Continental Divide. We have arrived at the train station at Lake Louise, and we will bid farewell to those fellow passengers who've chosen the incredible, stunning Lake Louise as their destination. For the remainder of us on board, we'll travel another 56 kilometers to Banff, enjoying the incredible vistas of Castle Mountain. We're scheduled to arrive in Banff at around 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time, where our journey ends. Welcome to Banff, a lively town with easy access to endless outdoor activities, mineral hot springs, and wildlife. For our second rail journey, we're going to travel to the incredibly picturesque town of Jasper on the 2-day journey through the Clouds route. This route connects Vancouver to Jasper with an overnight in Kamloops. So given day one is the same as First Passage to the West, we will pick this route up from the second day of the journey from Kamloops, traveling north and east to Jasper on the Canadian National Railway. We board the train at 7:45 a.m. and are scheduled to arrive in Jasper at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time. On this route, we've chosen to travel in Silverleaf service. Our Silverleaf rail cars feature oversized glass dome windows where meals are served seat-side by a culinary team member. If you would like to get some fresh air, you can step into the small enclosed area, just refer to that as a vestibule, where the window is open throughout the journey, and it holds up to 4 people. Enjoy the high ceilings and airy, spacious feel of our Silverleaf coach and soak in the passing scenery with our large, oversized dome windows that bring the outdoors in. All our dome coaches have been designed for optimal viewing. Enjoy breathtaking mountain peaks and glacial-fed lakes. Journey through the clouds takes guests through some of the most untouched natural beauty. I hear a bit of a grumbling. Is that a bear? No, it's your stomach letting you know that it's lunchtime. Don't miss a moment of the passing scenery, as your 3-course lunch will be served to you by a culinary team member at your seat. Simply lower your table tray for your culinary delight. And it's a pared down menu in Silverleaf, meaning that you don't have as many options to choose from for your entree as you do in Goldleaf. So in Silverleaf, you have 2 options to choose from for your entree for both breakfast and lunch. But just as in Goldleaf, you'll have a menu to make your selection from, and your meals are served with white linens, china, and silverware. So each year, our culinary team reimagines a menu that showcases regional flavors and locally sourced ingredients, such as fresh salmon and Alberta beef. So entrees at lunch may include Alberta pork tenderloin, braised Alberta beef ribs, or Pacific prawn risotto. These are just a few examples of some entrees that we served in the past, and we use local in-season vegetables and fruit. You never depart our trains feeling hungry. So breakfast is a 2-course meal and lunch is a 3-course meal. And trust me, your glass need not go empty throughout the day as you are being served your choice of alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages, as well as sweet and savory snacks between meals. So once you've arrived at your destination where you are on your own for dinner, you may feel like something light, like an appetizer. Or for myself, I am so full that the only thing I have is a beverage. As I'm not allowed to drink on the train, this is when I get to enjoy my glass of wine and feel the spray of Pyramid Creek Falls as it drops over the falls and flows right under the railway tracks. The falls drop 90 meters and cascade over 3 tiers and fan out into a pyramid shape before hitting the bedrock below. The only other way to get this close to the falls is to hike in. As we travel throughout the day, the mountainous views do not disappoint as we climb over the Yellowhead Pass into Jasper National Park. Enjoy the magnificent views of Mount Robson, the highest peak in the Canadian Rockies that stands at 3,954 meters, pictured here in the background. We wind around it for a good hour, and it is so tall that it has its own weather system at the top. So it can be a beautiful, clear blue sky day, but the top is often crowned in alpine clouds. Get your camera ready as we travel by Moose Lake, aptly named for the many moose in this region, approximately 100,000. In addition to moose, some other wildlife you may catch glimpses of are bald eagles, bighorn sheep, and of course, everyone's favorite bears. If a coach up ahead sees a bear or any wildlife for that matter, it will be radioed to the staff and the other coaches. So you may hear your onboard host announce, "Bear spotted on the left up ahead," and everyone is going to move to the left side of the train, and the excitement is palpable. We arrive into Jasper, a quiet, beautiful little mountain town that is a true gem of the Canadian Rockies. And now for the road less traveled, welcome to our 3-day Rainforest to Gold Rush route. This is a very remote train passage and very diverse in geography and climate. On the first day of the journey, traveling eastbound, we board the train in North Vancouver to Whistler. And it's a spectacular day and just a nice, easy 3.5-hour journey to Whistler. We pass from the Pacific shore of the Coast Mountains, hugging the coastline with spectacular ocean, fjord, and mountain vistas. We follow Howe Sound into the rugged canyon of the Cheakamus River. We pass through tunnels and bridges over to the resort of Whistler. And we're scheduled to arrive in Whistler sort of around 11:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. Welcome to stunning Whistler, where you have the rest of the afternoon and evening to enjoy outdoor activities, fantastic restaurants, galleries, and shops, or maybe you want to book an appointment at one of the spas. And to note, if you are traveling westbound on this route, you are scheduled to arrive in Whistler on day 2 of your journey, coming in from Quesnel at 7:30 p.m. So that leaves you some of the evening to enjoy Whistler. And then on your last day of the journey, you have the morning and afternoon to enjoy Whistler, as boarding time is shortly after 3 p.m. Good morning and welcome back aboard. Boarding time is shortly after 7 a.m. and we will be traveling 500 kilometers from Whistler to Quesnel. We pass from coniferous forests and beautiful blue-green glacier lakes into one of the hotter, drier places in the country at Lillooet. We follow the Fraser River along its impressive canyon as we climb high along its eastern wall. We traverse the region's rolling, lake-dotted hills and ranching communities, experiencing some of the most contrasting landscapes in Western Canada. We cross the Deep Creek Bridge, one of the highest railway bridges in the world, and we follow the gold rush history, which is fascinating. We rejoin the Fraser River near Williams Lake, and it takes us northward to our destination at Quesnel. Arrival time is scheduled for 8 p.m. Quesnel was originally a mining town, and it's a small town with a population of approximately 20,000. Enjoy your night's rest in Quesnel. Welcome back aboard for the 3rd day of our journey. We'll be traveling 534 kilometers, swinging north past Prince George before turning south and traveling southeast to our destination of Jasper. We follow the Fraser River, meandering through a remote region of British Columbia. And as the train travels through the Rocky Mountain Trench, we are surrounded by the Rocky Mountains to the north and the Caribou Mountains to the south. And we'll once again, on this route, we'll enjoy the incredible views of Mount Robson before our arrival in peaceful, charming Jasper, where our 3-day Rainforest to Gold Rush journey ends. And we're scheduled to arrive in Jasper at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time. And if you are interested in a return journey on the train, we have our circle journeys, which are formed by combining 2 routes. So for example, I know that map is a little small there, but for example, departing Vancouver, traveling eastbound through Jasper on Rainforest to Gold Rush, and then you could return to Vancouver on the journey through the Clouds route from Jasper. So we do have 7 circle journey packages to choose from, and they all begin and end in Vancouver and range in length from 7 to 13 days. So depending on the package, you'll have either 4 or 5 days of train travel, and the longer packages do include time and sightseeing in the Canadian Rockies. You could also work with your travel professional at Expedia to create your own custom circle journey beginning and ending in Calgary. So we partner with the best hotels available in each of our destinations. So we have, our sort of 2 levels of hotels. We pre-select moderate hotels with Silverleaf service. So these are your, 3 to 4-star hotels, which, are comfortable, moderate hotels. And then we pre-select premium 5-star hotels with our Gold Leaf service. You can also choose Gold Leaf Plus for an upgrade to a larger room or a room with a better view. However, you can choose the level of hotel you would like based on your preferences, and this can also be a great way to stretch your budget. So perhaps you prefer the Silverleaf rail car, but you're celebrating a special occasion, so you'd like to stay at the Fairmont Banff Springs. Or alternatively, you prefer, the Gold Leaf rail car, and staying in a 5-star hotel isn't important to you, then you can select the moderate level hotels. I'll just also share with you too, just to set expectations of, hotel accommodation at our midpoints in Kamloops and Quesnel. We do have to, work with what's there, and the hotels in both of those locations are of a moderate level. These are some of the hotels that we partner with. So we have the Fairmont Chateau Lake Louise, and we do partner with all of the Fairmonts in our destination. And then we have Brewster's Mountain Lodge in Banff, the Chateau Jasper in Jasper, and then the Sheraton Vancouver Wall Center. And these last 3 are all examples of our moderate level hotels. And the fun and memory making, continues once you're off the train and in your destination. So we have over 35 vacation packages to choose from, depending on the amount of sightseeing or little bit of sightseeing that you would like to do in destination. So we partner with hotels and tour operators to create these packages to extend your time in destination once you're off the train. Some of these packages may include, a tour of Yoho National Park, or a motor coach sightseeing tour between Jasper and Lake Louise and Banff that includes a ride on the Ice Explorer on the Athabasca Glacier and the Columbia Icefield Skywalk. Our season in Canada this year is from April the 25th to October the 6th, and we don't operate in the winter months because, as we know, the days are just too short in the winter, and you would miss some of that amazing scenery. And you may wonder, what is the best season to travel in? And all 3 seasons that we travel in are wonderful. They just each have something a little different to offer. So in the spring, pictured in the left, the mountains are still covered in snow, making them really pop. The flora and the fauna are beginning to emerge, and not that we can guarantee it, but it's often a great time to see wildlife, especially bears, as they come out of hibernation and make their ways to the tracks in search of food. Keep in mind, if you're planning on doing some boating activities, that the lakes are still frozen at this time. And it's a little bit more of a relaxing time in any of the resort towns or Vancouver, as the international tourists have not arrived yet. And then in the summer months on the top right, you know, everything is lush and in full bloom. As we know, the days are nice and long, great for doing activities in the evenings, and it's warm and the weather is predictable. And then on the bottom right, we have the beautiful yellows and golds of the larches as they're turning color. The salmon run occurs in the fall, attracting eagles and bears. And then in that, you know, first week of October, that's when as well, all the international tourists have pretty much left. And sometimes too, depending on the amount of snowfall in Alberta, the fall can also look a little bit like spring with the mountains dusted in some snow. And now on to our new route in the American Southwest, the Rockies to the Red Rocks. So we launched this route last year, and I was very fortunate to travel on it in mid-September. And the scenery is just as spectacular as the Canadian Rockies, but it is such unique, different scenery than in Canada. So Rockies to the Red Rocks is a 2-day journey as depicted by the solid red line between Denver, Colorado and Moab, Utah, with an overnight in Glenwood Springs. So again, the dark diamonds on the map are destinations where you either begin or end your journey. So we have packages that can begin or end in Salt Lake City or Las Vegas and include a transfer to Moab either by motor coach or by a flight scene experience, which I'll expand upon later. There's also daily flights between Denver International Airport and Canyonlands in Moab. And depending on the time of the year, there are either 1 or 2 daily flights in each direction. And when I traveled there from Vancouver, I flew to Denver International Airport. I then flew to Moab, spent a couple of days touring some of the national parks in Moab, and then I took the train eastbound through to Denver. And I really liked taking that route. And I know that coming from Calgary, Edmonton, it's just about a 2.5 hour flight to Denver International Airport. And our gold leaf coaches are a few inches too tall to fit through the tunnels on this route. So we feature silver leaf service only on the Rockies to the Red Rocks. So again, we have our nice, 14-foot high ceilings. We have our oversized dome windows. You can see how they wrap around to the top of the ceiling that make for wonderful viewing and worked really well on this route as we're down in canyons, looking up the canyon walls, looking up to the mountains. And again, your meals are served seatside to you by a culinary team member. But same as in Canada, you have the wonderful level of service provided by our onboard hosts, all of the amazing storytelling. And again, it's all inclusive while you're on board. So that is your meals, your snacks, your beverages, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic, baggage handling, accommodation at the midpoint of the journey, and transfers between the hotels and train. Now, for an upgraded experience, you can choose Silver Leaf Plus. So this provides our guests access to a lounge car, and we have our portrait windows, nice big comfortable armchairs to relax in. And at the other end of this coach, the lounge car that you can't see are a couple of high top tables. There's also a bar area, and there is a bartender serving up signature cocktails, and we serve premium wines and spirits and canapes in the lounge car. So there is seating for 20 guests, and there's also an outdoor vestibule. So our Rockies to the Red Rocks season this year runs from April the 18th until October the 26th. And Moab, Utah is known for its red rock formations and as the gateway to the Mighty 5 national parks, which are Arches, Canyonlands, Bryce Canyon, Capitol Reef, and Zion National Park. So I toured Arches National Park as pictured here on the top, and Canyonlands National Park pictured on the bottom right, and they are both absolutely incredible. So, we've seen these, pictures of these national parks in Utah, but to be there is something else. They are just so amazing. I just couldn't believe my eyes when I first was in Arches National Park, just these massive landscapes with these huge red rock formations. And then we were able to get up close to these arches, which are naturally forming. And the more time I spent there, just the more time I was in awe of it. And then in contrast, with Canyonlands National Park, here you're standing, thousands of feet above the ground, overlooking canyons as far as the eye can see. It really is spectacular scenery. And then we have the town of Moab, a really quaint town. It has a small population of about 5,500 and a downtown with cute, local shops and restaurants. But Moab is really all about being outdoors and exploring the national as well as the state parks. And there is so much to explore outdoors and a wide array of activities to do in Moab that range from soft adventures such as off-road vehicle tours, guided walking tours, boat tours on the Colorado River, to more active adventures like mountain biking, horseback riding, and river rafting. So traveling eastbound on the train, we board the train at 2 p.m. So that leaves the morning to enjoy Moab, and dinner and snacks and non-alcoholic and alcoholic beverages are served on board. So the days on this route are a bit shorter than our Canadian routes. So the leg between Moab and Glenwood Springs is 5 hours, and the leg between Glenwood Springs and Denver is 8 hours. So if you are traveling westbound, the train departs Glenwood Springs at 7 a.m. and scheduled to arrive at 12 p.m. into Moab, which traveling westbound would then leave you the afternoon and evening to enjoy Moab. But traveling eastbound, some of the highlights on this first day are the beautiful book cliffs pictured above, which are the longest continuous escarpment in the world. And you'll also enjoy views of the snow-capped peaks of the La Salle Mountains, serving as a backdrop to the Red Rocks. Mount Garfield, which can be seen from the train, is the largest and highest mountain peak of the book cliffs. And then as we cross over into the Colorado River, we're nice and remote, winding through Ruby Canyon, a 40-kilometer long canyon. Other than rafting, the only other way to access this canyon is by train, and we are scheduled to arrive into Glenwood Springs at 7 p.m. Glenwood Springs is a really picturesque resort town nestled in the heart of the Colorado's Rocky Mountains. We overnight in Glenwood Springs. There are great shops and restaurants and bars a short walking distance away, and the town is known for its hot springs, which are open until 10 p.m. So there is time for you to visit them, because remember, you've been fed dinner on the train. And then we partner with the Hotel Colorado and Hotel Denver in Glenwood Springs. And the Hotel Colorado is a grand hotel that was built in 1893 and it has a lot of history. On day 2 of our journey, we're going to depart Glenwood Springs at 9 a.m. And then we're immersed in the landscape. We're traveling through 4 canyons along the Colorado River this day. So Glenwood, Burns, Gore, and Byers canyons. In areas we're looking up 3 meters high along the canyon walls. And unless you're an expert kayaker or whitewater rafter, the only other way to travel through Gore Canyon is by train. So we're just remote areas where no roads or buildings are in sight. I really enjoyed the variety of scenery and colors experienced on this day. The picture above I took from the train. So there were just, colors of shades of red and gray, and then the greens and the yellows of the forest. The aspens at the higher elevation have already turned yellow by mid-September. And then as we continue east, we climb in elevation and then have sweeping countryside views of rivers and lakes. So the picture above is also one I took from the train. And just like our Canadian routes, we'll enjoy some incredible feats of railway engineering as we cross under the Continental Divide, as we travel through the 10-kilometer long Moffat Tunnel and travel along the Big Ten curve as we near Denver, named for the tight 10-degree radius curves. We arrive into Denver at approximately 5 p.m. And Denver is a bustling city of culture and diversity. And like more large cities, there's plenty to explore, from museums, aquariums, to botanical gardens, restaurants, and shopping. And known as a mile-high city due to its high altitude, it is also known for its craft breweries. There's about 100 of them. And Denver is nicknamed the Napa Valley of beer. So in Denver, we've partnered with Sage Hospitality Group for Denver accommodation, and that offers 5 boutique-like hotels: the Oxford, the Crawford, the Maven, the Raleigh Hotel, and Hotel Indigo. And we have 6 packages altogether on this route. So we have 5 that you can take either eastbound or westbound, and a return journey, the Denver return. And I'll just highlight quickly 3 of these packages. So the highlights package extends your time in Moab and Denver. So it has 2 nights, 2 hotel nights at either end of the journey, 2 nights in Moab, 2 nights in Denver. And of course, you have your overnight in Glenwood Springs. And then we have our Explorer packages. So the Explorer Salt Lake City package is a 6-day package between Salt Lake City and Denver, with 2 nights in Moab, 1 night in Salt Lake City. And guests can choose from either a motor coach or a flight scene transfer with Red Tail Air between Salt Lake City and Moab. And it truly is a flight scene experience, with the pilot providing commentary throughout the flight. The planes are smaller, they seat 9 guests. And then the Explorer Las Vegas is a 7-day package between Las Vegas and Denver, with 2 nights in Las Vegas, 2 nights in Moab, and 1 in Denver. And of course, our overnight in Glenwood Springs. And the transfer between Las Vegas and Moab is a flight scene transfer with Red Tail Air. And then we have our At Leisure Las Vegas package with 2 nights in Las Vegas, 1 night in Bryce Canyon, 2 nights Moab, and 2 nights in Denver. So this is a great package to experience a lot of the national parks. So this includes a guided sightseeing motor coach tour between Las Vegas and Moab, with an overnight at Bryce Canyon that also includes a Western dinner and entertainment at Ebenezer's Bar and Grill. Guests will enjoy sightseeing tours of Zion, Bryce Canyon, and Capitol Reef National Parks, and traveling on the scenic Highway 12. And then in Las Vegas, we've partnered with MGM Resorts, where guests can choose to stay at the Park MGM Las Vegas or the exclusive Nomad Hotel at the Park MGM. And in Salt Lake City, you have a choice of staying with the Little America Hotel or Grand America Hotel. So now let's talk about our promotion that we currently have on the go. There's a few of them. Let's start first with our enhanced flexibility. So all of our 2022 bookings come with enhanced flexibility. So you can cancel for any reason up to 60 days prior to your travel date and receive a travel credit to use up to and including the 2023 season. For some reason, you just aren't feeling comfortable, you can move your date up to later in 2022 or into 2023. Again, just as long as you're 60 days prior to travel. As well, if you're 60 days prior to travel, you can make name changes once, but please note that 1 name from the original booking must remain. And you can carry over any applicable promotions to your new booking. And we have a fantastic promotion running for the entire month of February, the spring fall promotion. So this is applicable to all routes in North America, Gold Leaf service or Silver Leaf service, and is for travel specifically in the spring and fall of this year. So if you're looking to stay close to home or travel not too far away to the US, we've got you covered. So you will receive $1,000 Canadian off per couple, or 500 Canadian off per person for travel this year on our Canadian routes in April, May, and October. And if you're traveling on our Rockies to the Red Rocks, you'll receive these savings for travel in April, May, September, and October. And both packages and rail only are eligible. This promotion expires February the 28th. So if you do have a reserve spot on your bucket list for Rocky Mountaineer, this is the time to be booking. Firstly, we are filling up quickly for this season. Some of our routes like Rainforest to Gold Rush, the month of September is pretty much sold out. And with regards to our other Canadian routes, just those high demand months, July, August, September, they are filling up quickly. There's just some low inventory, and this will be now the richest offer that we have for the remainder of the season, and it won't be extended past February. And then if you have traveled with us in the past, you can earn even more off. So we have our Travel Again promotion. This is combinable with our spring and fall promotion. So if you've traveled with us in the past, you'll receive 500 Canadian dollars off per couple, or 250 Canadian dollars off per person on any of our routes in Canada or the US. And this is for our packages only. Rail only is excluded from this. This offer runs until the end of our season, October the 27th, and you just need to show a previous booking number. The health and safety of our guests and our team members is our highest priority, and we follow the guidelines of the government and health authorities where we operate, which are in place at time of travel. So in Canada, we do know that all passengers are required to be fully vaccinated to board our trains. And to share with you also, all of our staff in Canada and all of our staff in US are fully vaccinated. In the US, there is no requirement for passengers to be fully vaccinated. So we operated, safely last year, and we are super excited about the start of our season this year. We are 75 days away from the start of our Canadian season and 67 days away from the start of our US season. So, our requirements can always change from now until then. So I'll just cover off, some of our protocols, but we will provide details as we approach the start of our season. So we will continue with our enhanced cleaning protocols that we implemented last year. So that is, cleaning of our trains before the start of the day, throughout the journey, at the end of the day, as well. Our air filtration system filters in fresh air every 3.5 minutes. And our bipolar ionizers and our HEPA filter systems capture 99.9% of airborne particles, such as viruses and bacteria. Rocky Mountaineer has been a trusted travel experience in our 32 years of business, and we've welcomed more than 2.2 million guests from around the world. So just as, John had mentioned, we're not too far off the Expedia in numbers of years in business, and we are a private Canadian company headquartered here in Vancouver, just like Expedia Cruises. These are just some of the 70 national and international travel awards that we've won over the years. I'll just add to this list that we were also named Best Sustainable Train Journey by Lonely Planet's Best in Travel Awards in 2021. And a heartfelt thank you for experiencing Rocky Mountaineer train journeys with myself and John and the rest of the Expedia travel professionals. I hope I've been able to paint a picture of what it's like to travel on board a Rocky Mountaineer journey. And Expedia Cruises, they are an amazing partner of ours. You are in excellent hands with them, and the travel professionals at Expedia will help you to create an iconic Rocky Mountaineer rail journey. And we look forward to welcoming you on board. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lisa. That was magnificent as always. I love this picture of this very handsome fellow giving us a wave as we go by on the Rocky Mountaineer. And boy, oh boy, you mentioned 75 days to the start of the season in Canada and 67 in the USA. It's right around the corner.
Yes, it's I know. It's hard to believe at times how fast it comes up, but we're really, really excited and looking forward to having a full season this year. We had a shortened one last year.
Yes, it was abbreviated, and to have a full season this year would just be marvelous. Folks, as I said at the top of the presentation, if you do have any questions or comments that you would like us to address, please feel free to use the chat box, and we will get to them. We still have about 10 minutes left before the top of the hour. Lisa, you covered so many things so beautifully, and I'm really pleased that Rocky Mountaineer has taken those extra steps in terms of enhancing the health and safety of their passengers. As you said, increasing the capacity of their air filtration system, constant cleaning of the train. I know the onboard staff are very, very cognizant of watching that on board, but I also want to kind of give them a bit of kudos here for their knowledge and experience, and the excellence that they perform on board in terms of their guiding and their explanation as one tour. So I remember when we were on board this past summer, we had 3 tremendous onboard hosts in our coach, and I won't forget them. There was Kelly from Sweden, I think it was, and Matt from Canada, and a very interesting and comical guy by the name of Pete, who I think has lived in just about every country in the world, to tell you the truth. And in terms of their explanation of what we were seeing, where we are, the history of the area, not just the landscape, was tremendous. And these folks return to Rocky Mountaineer year after year. They absolutely love what they're doing.
They do. They absolutely love it. And they just, they genuinely love connecting with our guests, providing them an excellent time, an excellent level of service, and creating, life-changing memories, life-changing experiences. Yeah, they really believe in that, and they deliver on it.
Yeah, they I mean, we use the term embrace a lot, but they really truly do embrace their role. They see the importance of it, and you can't help but be enthusiastic right along with them. Yes.
Yeah. No, and it's wonderful. And our guests just, connect with our hosts. And I know, like, our onboard hosts, like, they'll tell me, like, people get their email addresses, they stay in touch with them. We'll have guests around the world, and they'll be like, if you're ever in Australia, you must come visit us. Like, it's really, it's amazing.
It is.
But that's why I really like to call them super hosts, because they are
incredible. There's no doubt about it. Another thing that I was going to mention was that, I know one of the taglines that Rocky Mountaineer uses is endless views, exceptional service. And you took us through the magnificence of the Rockies, but also that's a tremendous tour that Rocky Mountaineer have now in the United States.
Yes.
And you can bolt on a lot of customization.
Absolutely. That's right.
And then, so, I mean, can you talk a little bit more about the United States? And I'm saying that just because where we live, we're fairly familiar with the Rockies. And having said that, guaranteed, there is no better way to see the Rockies than be on a train. It's not on the highway. It's not on a bus, right? But I know, like you said, you had been to, you had the pleasure of doing the United States tour, Moab to Denver. Can you expand a little bit on what you were talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So first of all, again, just, incredible way on the train to see that scenery. And then what is wonderful too about that route, like you said, it is, especially like the state of Utah, like there's arches and canyon lands. Arches is just depending on where you're staying in Moab, is as close as 10 minutes away to just 20 minutes away. Canyonlands is about a 45-minute drive away. And these national parks are huge. And I did feel like I was on another planet. So we took some motor coach tours. So it had you, driving throughout the national parks, but then getting off and doing some hikes. And it was just one of those experiences where it's just so different. So in Arches, when I first stepped off that bus, and that was just right to sort of when we just outside of Moab drove into the park. I mean, you're just blown away anyways, just in the bus driving up into it. And then when you step off, it's just this huge vista of these massive red rock formations, and it's crazy. And some of them, you'll have like rocks one on another, and they're on an angle, and you're like, how are they even staying there? How are they not falling over? But it's just, you just look at it and you just keep going, oh my goodness, this is so amazing. I can't believe it. And then I think what surprised me was, like, the more time I spent there, just the more time I was in awe of it.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I mean, and I think this is why it's such an exciting route too, because there is so much to do. And you said you can customize it. There's lots of outdoor activities to do. You could even, once you're in Moab, rent a car. Maybe you want to drive your way to Las Vegas, because some of those national parks like Zion and Bryce, those are closer to Las Vegas than where they are to Moab. So it just all depends what you're looking for, and then, hey, if you like cities too, spend some time in Denver. I know too, they have, 5 professional sports teams there. So, and there's lots of stadiums if you like, sports as well. But yeah, but for me, the scenery too, just on the train, Colorado, Utah, what I loved about it too, again, because it's just it's different than Canada. And to me, it was just as spectacular, but just such variety. And I just love the remoteness of traveling down in these canyons, and you're just surrounded by nature, right? There's no buildings, there's no roads in sight. It's incredible. And but just lots of variety from being down in canyons, and then as we came out of that, traveling to higher elevations, and then you just had these beautiful sweeping countryside views, beautiful views of ranches on the Colorado River. We saw some whitewater rafters and kayakers. We saw some people that were hiking high above the Colorado River on the edge with some like wooden bridges right on the edge. Look a little frightening. I was like, I'll take the comfort of being in my seat, enjoying the fabulous views of this canyon, So yeah, it was, really. I mean, I love, of course, all of our routes, in Canada too. Both are fabulous, and just offering views that you can't see any other way.
Exactly. And, the uniqueness of the landscapes on both sides of the border.
Yes. Yeah.
Amazing soft adventure, as you say.
Yes, that's
activity right. That way.
Yep.
And, if you're not into that, you can always explore a different form of soft adventure in Las Vegas.
That's exactly. That's right.
So something for everybody. I just want to put in a plug as we reach the top of the hour for something that you alluded to, and I think it was on the first passage of the West, and that is that Rocky Mountaineer sources local. They go to Canadian providers to help them with their magnificent menus, right? And one of these things that, of course, like we try and wave the flag patriotically and proud of it.
Yeah.
And being a part of a Rocky Mountain tour obviously is another way to help recover after we've gone through this terrible time. And so if we're excited about the Olympics right now, Rocky Mountaineer provides the Olympics in terms of rail travel. No question about it. So I don't see any comments or questions in the chat, Lisa. So I think we'll wrap up here, folks. As Lisa mentioned, there's some great offers in the marketplace from Rocky Mountaineer right now. They are partnering with us in our current February promotion that we call Rediscover the World. I think it was a very important point that Lisa brought up, in that this is the highest value offer of the year that Rocky Mountaineer is going to provide, and we're working with them closely. And we absolutely relish that opportunity. So, you know, if you're thinking about doing something a little closer to home, and by George, if you've got some friends maybe that live in other places and want to come and see what Western Canada and part of the Western United States is all about, there's just not another better way to do it. So thank you again, Lisa. There are a few comments coming through chat saying thank you again from everybody else. We really appreciate it. And thank you all for joining us. Have a wonderful night. Please consider what we've talked about tonight and that Lisa has taken us to. And by all means, if you have further questions or you want to explore a little bit, get in touch with your amazing Expedia Cruises consultant, and they can help you along the path, or the railway, as it were. So thank you, everybody. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.